Cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. We're going to get into it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy in co-creating these messages. I really do enjoy bringing through these messages. So thank you, thank you. Also thank you for the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations. All of it really helps out the channel. So thank you. And also, if you're interested in a personal reading, I do have my Etsy store up and live. It is linked in the description box below. So feel free to check that out if you are feeling called for it. Okay. I don't know what that card means. Okay, the first card out is Fury and Brush Fires. Extreme emotions, once engaged, are hard to put back in the container. Anger is a healthy emotion, yet fury is less necessary. Warlike emotions can be tempered unless survival requires it. Emotional intelligence is required at this time. Okay, so I feel like for some of you, you may be dealing with some very intense moving emotions right now. Um, with that, when those emotions come up, allow yourself to express them in as healthy way as possible. Especially when you're talking anger, this is something often it's an energy that needs to move. And so it's a very fast moving energy. That's why if we get super angry, we can explode. It's because it wants to move. It's getting it moving. And the thing is we are a lot of us are taught to suppress our anger. Anger's bad. Um rage is not, the most productive energy and you need to suppress it and blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, that's counterintuitive. Um, because it's suppressing it that causes it to come out in very explosive, mm, less healthy ways. It's one of those get it moving. So, so one of the things I do is I'll lift really heavy like heavy weights, punch a punching bag, go outside and scream or scream into a pillow, punch a pillow. It's one of those get it out and let it move. And then it's one of those once it moves and you release it, then it's released. And then you can come back to, more of a neutral standpoint. But the thing is with anger is right before. So if you look at there's an emotional vibrational frequency chart. If I remember, I will attach a link to it below. Um, but basically it's looking at the frequencies of the different emotions. And you've got the lower, those the slower vibrational emotions such as sadness, depression, grief, shame, all of those are, they're slower moving emotions, so they're lower on this scale. Then you reach neutrality, and that's in the middle. And then above that is where you have like happiness, love, joy, bliss, so on and so forth. Peace. And it's based on the frequency that these emotions vibrate at. Anger is right before you get to neutrality. And so anger is actually vibrationally a faster moving energy. And it's actually a sign that you're shifting your energy from those super lower states of like depression, sadness, just numbed out, that kind of thing. When you turn your emotions back on, then you rise and you go through some of those layers of those deep, heavy emotions. Anger is actually right before neutrality. And so that's oftentimes when you release that anger, when you explode in some way, or when you consciously move that anger through you, then you feel like a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, and if you can move it in a productive way, then you don't have that instant regret, because that's another thing that can happen is when we explode, especially on somebody else, then all of a sudden we kind of drop back down because now we feel guilty about it. And so that's where moving that anger and that frustration and letting it out in a productive way, then you can have that sigh of relief without that guilt. And then you can shift up into neutrality. And then from neutrality is where you can start shifting up your vibration to peace. And, you're more in that love frequency. And then, move up and down, joy and bliss, peace and neutrality. And you can go on those ranges. And then when those lower vibrational emotions come up, and it's not saying they're bad, it's just they are literally moving at a slower speed. And so those lower vibrational emotions, the slower vibrational emotions, that's a cool way to put it. Um, when you pick up on those, and be cautious, because sometimes you pick up on those and they're not yours. And so learning how to identify, is this mine or is this somebody else's, is very important as well. And oftentimes what you can do to identify that is to get by yourself, and you can even intend it aloud or in your head, and just, say, I release anything that is not mine. And then to amp that up, you can say, I release anything that is not in my highest good to experience right now. And if all of a sudden you get away from certain people and you do that, and then you feel immediately better, that's indicative that you're picking up on emotions or vibrations of other people or environments, because that can also be a thing too. If you go into a very chaotic environment, it might not be somebody else's emotions. It might be the energy and the vibration of that environment that you're picking up on. And then that's when you get to release it and go, whew, that actually wasn't mine. If it is yours, it's not going to lift as easily. Or if it's in your highest good to process that emotion, you're still going to feel that. And that's going to be indicative of, this is a you emotion that is being asked to move through you. So emotions are energy in motion. And so when we feel those emotions, they want to move, they want to be, shifted through. And then, it's really recommended to do your best to come back to that state of neutrality, and then, kind of operate from life in that way as much as possible. Okay. Wow. Well, that was powerful. We got all that from one card. So I'll show you the card again. Um, yeah, so with that, apparently somebody was pulling through some of that information. Um, I hope that helps. If so, you can let me know in the comments below. This is big work, so just be easy on yourself with it too, and understand it's something that, even people who are used to doing this, we're all humans, so there's still sometimes when those emotions get the better of us. And so it's really a good practice to get into, to not beat yourself up for it. Clean up your side of the street. If you do something that's harmful or whatever to somebody else, like explode or something of that nature, own it, apologize, and then allow yourself to just be human, and like, okay, it's a learning thing. What can I learn from that situation, so that the next time that happens, I'm more in control of it, in a way that I can, do a certain thing to allow these emotions to move. Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm gonna leave this here. Um, Hopefully that helps. Let me know if it does. And if you like this message, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.